A stunning arrest. Duterte in the hands of the ICC. The world watched in shock as former Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte was arrested. The arrest took place on March 11, 2025 in Manila. Duterte was returning from a trip to Hong Kong. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, issued a warrant for his arrest. He is accused of crimes against humanity. The ICC warrant alleges Duterte is responsible for countless deaths. These deaths occurred during his war on drugs. The warrant specifically accuses him of murder. The ICC alleges these killings were widespread and systematic. Duterte's arrest marks a historic moment. He is the first former Philippine president to face such charges. It is a significant development in international justice. The arrest sends a strong message about accountability for human rights abuses. The world is now watching to see how the case unfolds. This arrest is a pivotal moment for the Philippines. It could strengthen the rule of law. It could deter future abuses of power. The international community is closely observing the situation. The outcome of this case will have far-reaching implications. Rodrigo Duterte launched his war on drugs in 2016. He promised to eradicate illegal drugs in the Philippines. The campaign quickly became notorious for its brutality. Thousands of suspected drug users and dealers were killed. Human rights groups condemned the killings. They accused the police of extrajudicial executions. Witnesses reported victims were often killed without trial or due process. The Philippine government disputed these claims. They maintained the killings were justified. The war on drugs created a climate of fear in the Philippines. Many communities lived in terror of being targeted. Families of victims often feared seeking justice. They worried about retaliation from authorities. The campaign had a devastating impact on human rights in the country. The ICC's investigation into the war on drugs began in 2018. The court sought to determine if crimes against humanity had been committed. The ICC's decision to issue an arrest warrant for Duterte came after years of investigation. It marked a significant escalation in the pursuit of justice. Rodrigo Duterte served as the 16th president of the Philippines. He held office from 2016 to 2022. He was known for his controversial policies and pronouncements. His leadership style was often described as authoritarian. He cultivated an image as a strongman leader. Duterte enjoyed significant popularity during his presidency. His supporters praised his tough stance on crime. They lauded his efforts to address corruption. However, his critics accused him of undermining democratic institutions. They condemned his disregard for human rights. Despite leaving office in 2022, Duterte remained a powerful figure. He retained a loyal following in the Philippines. His political influence continued to be felt. His arrest came as a shock to his supporters. They staged protests, demanding his release. Duterte's arrest ignited a debate about his legacy. His supporters viewed him as a decisive leader who restored order. His detractors saw him as an authoritarian who eroded democratic norms. His arrest further polarized public opinion in the Philippines. Duterte's lawyer immediately challenged the arrest. He argued the ICC lacked jurisdiction. He cited the Philippines' withdrawal from the ICC in 2019. This withdrawal took effect in 2020. Duterte had pulled the Philippines out of the court after it launched an investigation into the war on drugs. The ICC argues it retains jurisdiction over crimes committed during the Philippines' membership. The court's position is that withdrawal does not absolve a state from its obligations. The ICC contends that Duterte can be held accountable for acts committed while the Philippines was a member state. The legal battle over jurisdiction is likely to be complex. It will involve arguments based on international law. The outcome of this legal challenge will have significant implications. It will determine whether Duterte faces trial at the ICC. The arrest and subsequent legal proceedings are being closely watched. The outcome of this case has the potential to set a precedent. It could impact the ICC's ability to hold leaders accountable for crimes against humanity. The world is watching to see if justice will be served.